Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. This particular car is registered LN13JUU, and mileage at the start of the road test is 66,294 miles. The reason we do these road tests is basically so if you're looking at this car online in an advert, you actually get to see that very car in operation. It's the sole purpose of doing it. It gives us an opportunity to tell you about the car, but far more importantly to tell you about any issues that might be on the vehicle before you come and see us. We're very well aware that many of our customers come from, not just locally but all over Europe, so the least we can do is go to the time and effort to do that for you. Road test is also done on these very, very quiet country roads very close to our premises, so hopefully be representative of obviously what you'd feel yourself if offered a test drive on the car. Let's come to the car itself. It's just been through the workshops, just been serviced, all very, very good indeed. Nice little things like it's on a matching set of Firestone tyres all round, which is just a good sign of ownership. Someone hasn't skimped on the car. Engine starts absolutely instantly, of course. These are brilliant engines. 2.2 DTEC, settles to completely smooth, even idle, no fluctuations at all. No warning lights at all on the dashboard, aside from a low fuel light currently, but relating to the engine or any other part of the car. And the car's running at a third on the temperature gauge, which is exactly where it should be on a Honda car, by the way. But that's really only half the story, because these are just fantastic engines, and that's an engine that you're using day in, day out. It's so smooth, so refined, so un-diesel-like in its sound, but also its performance. It's very linear. It's not your stereotypical turbo diesel. We get loads of lag, rush of power, and then drops off. This has a really lovely, smooth application of power, or delivery of power, through the entire rev range of the car, and you can access and use it all without straining, putting damage on your eardrums, because it is wonderfully refined, and of course amazingly economical too, by the way. They are cam chain driven, so there's no cam belts to worry about on Honda cars of this type, so no big service looming on them at any stage. Engine then runs through clutch and into gearbox. Clutch is absolutely perfect. Bite point is exactly where it should be on the pedal travel. It's light, smooth, positive in actuation. The gearbox is utterly brilliant. It really is, and this would sit in any Honda car regardless of its aspirations, whether sporting or otherwise. It's short and throw. It's just got a lovely quality of actuation to it, but it's just so precise, so well. The gating on the gear lever, the springing, everything's exactly what you'd expect from a Honda car, and it's one of their best gearboxes in this generation. It really is fantastic. I can't feel anywhere in it at all. Steering of the vehicle tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations at all coming back through the steering wheel of the car at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. And I drove the car on the motorway last night at higher speeds, so I did get a chance to check that. But it's a lovely power steering setup as well. Very nicely weighted, very, very accurate indeed. Quite a sort of dinky small steering wheel. It just feels far more agile than you'd expect a car of its size, and what the design criteria was for the car in terms of a family car. Chassis of the vehicle, what I'm looking for on road test is just any signs of any metallic noises, or any clonks or thumps coming from underneath that shouldn't actually be there, and there's nothing at all on the car. Honda, it's worth pointing out that obviously they are the best-selling SUV manufacturer in the world with the CR-V, so they clearly know the market very well, and they know what their customers want from the cars. And they knew this a lot longer before everyone else jumped on the bandwagon. So what they actually give you is a very comfortable car, but one that's got really good body control, and that shouldn't be underplayed. So when you go through some sweeping bends or typing bends, you don't get that awful kind of lurching and keeling over that you get with so many cars of this type, which is particularly unsettling, not for the driver necessarily, but for the people in the back. So if you've got kids who are prone to sort of car sickness as my kids are, it can make for quite an interesting trip. But these are brilliant. I mean, you just go through the corners, it holds its line, minimal body roll. It's just a really, really class act. Brakes on the car are excellent, by the way. I tried those again last night, but you know, give them a thump. It brings the nose down nice and straight. Doesn't pull violently left or right, and also the brakes don't exhibit any kind of pulsing or vibrations when you apply them either. Looking around inside the car, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's very hard in videos just to get over how well built a car actually feels in operation, because these are quite brilliantly made cars, and this, as I always point out, this is real build quality, not when the manufacturers hand it to motoring journalists when they're brand new, but all cars feel pretty well made these days. I'm talking about when it's done a few thousand miles, 5-6 years down the line, and it's amazing how many cars which are so say, you know, have excellent build quality, how many creaks and groans they have from the interiors of their cars, and buzz, trim rattles and skags and marks. This isn't just, A, it's in fantastic condition, but B, it just feels like I'm driving around in a brand new car. It feels solid. I can't sense any kind of noises that shouldn't really be there. It really is beautifully, beautifully made. It also looks fantastic with this two-tone interior. It's really sought after, by the way. It's got it's just a parking sensor just picking up on the hedge, by the way. The lightness of the interior actually adds to the you don't feel sort of like the claustrophobia that you can get with some darker interiors. It really does work wonderfully well, because you've got the contrast with the silver trim and the black, which they pretty much nicked from BMW in all honesty, but they've done it rather better in terms of build quality. The rest of the dashboard, simplicity itself to use. Sat nav, you can see they're functioning exactly as it should. Air conditioning pumps out absolutely ice cold air, by the way, and it's dual zone, so you can do it side to side if you so wish on these. Heated seats again work absolutely perfectly, all been checked. Dashboard in front of me, simplicity itself to use. And again, everything, all the readouts, everything exactly as you'd expect. Steering wheel, obviously it's a multifunction steering wheel, looks and feels as new in hand. You obviously cruise control up here, which again works perfectly. I used it last night. Information display buttons on the bottom right there for the main display on the dashboard binnacle, and then top left we've got the radio controls and your information up on the screen on the dashboard there, and then down below that you've got your hands-free functions. But it drives sensationally well. They are of course four-wheel drive vehicles, but there's nothing to press, no switches to turn on. Again, Honda very, very quickly worked out that the vast majority of people's driving that buy this type of car will be, as I'm doing today, in perfectly good conditions. So why bother having four-wheel drive running constantly, chewing up your tyres, putting mechanical wear on the car? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I apologise, phones start ringing. Any questions at all, do give us a call, but there's nothing on this car that merits a mention. It's a wonderful car.